My grandfather left his 1967 Mustang to whoever could fix it. My siblings hired mechanics. I didn't. Grandpa Vincent was a legend in the car community. His 1967 Shelby GT 500 wasn't just any Mustang. It was one of only 2,048 ever made, with the original 428 Cobra Jet engine. Experts valued it between $350,000 and $450,000. He'd spent 40 years making it perfect. Every car show, people would gather around that white beauty with blue racing stripes and just stare. When he died last month, my 3 siblings barely showed up to the funeral. They were too busy with their fancy careers. My older brother Marcus ran a hedge fund in Boston. My sister Amber closed million-dollar real estate deals in Miami. My younger brother Tyler had his tech startup. I worked at Murphy's Auto Repair, still wearing my work clothes with oil stains. The lawyer's office felt too small for all our egos. Your grandfather left very specific instructions, he said. The Mustang, along with his house and savings, goes to whichever grandchild can restore it to working condition within 30 days. Marcus laughed. Restore it? That car's already perfect. 3 days before his death, your grandfather deliberately took apart major pieces of the engine. He left it in pieces. The silence was heavy. Marcus was already on his phone. I'm calling Morrison's Classic Car Restoration. They're the best in the state. Amber nodded. I know a guy who specializes in Shelbys. He's expensive but worth it. Tyler was texting. My business partner's dad owns a shop. He'll help. I just stared at the photos of the scattered parts, remembering Saturday mornings in that garage. Grandpa showing me how to listen to an engine, how to feel when something was right. We all got keys to the garage. The competition started immediately. The first week, Marcus's mechanics showed up in a van. 3 guys in matching uniforms. I was there working on sorting parts when they arrived. They took photos of everything, measurements. Then they left without touching anything. Weird, but I figured they were planning their approach. I started working nights after my shifts at Murphy's. Grandpa had taught me to restore engines piece by piece. Trust your hands, he'd say. The metal talks if you listen. I began with the basics, cleaning parts, checking for damage, taking my time, but things kept moving. I'd organize the engine components one way, come back the next day, and they'd be rearranged. At first I thought I was misremembering. Then I started taking photos before I left each night. Someone was definitely moving things. Pieces I'd set aside would be in different spots. Small parts would disappear, then reappear days later in wrong locations. The mechanics kept coming, different ones each time. They'd spend hours in the garage, but I never saw them actually working, just looking, talking in low voices, taking more photos. When I asked Marcus what his team was doing, he said they were developing a restoration strategy. 2 weeks in, I noticed something stranger. Custom parts started appearing, components that weren't original, a modified carburetor, performance headers that didn't match the 1967 specs. These weren't restoration parts, they were upgrades. I took photos and compared them to Grandpa's original documentation. None of this matched. I confronted Amber about it. She said her guy was just examining all options, but the way she said it felt wrong, like she was hiding something. Tyler's mechanics showed up next. They brought equipment I'd never seen before. Diagnostic computers, modern tools. They spent 3 hours measuring the engine bay. When I asked what they were doing, they said analyzing structural integrity. That made no sense for a restoration. I started staying later, watching. One night I hid when I heard someone coming. It was Marcus and one of his mechanics. They were installing something under the hood, something electronic, something that definitely wasn't part of a 1967 Mustang. I filmed it on my phone. The next day, all 3 siblings showed up together. That had never happened before. They went into the garage without me and locked the door. I waited outside for 2 hours. When they came out, they wouldn't look at me. That night, I broke into the garage. I needed to see what they'd done. The engine was completely different from how I'd left it. Parts were in the wrong places. New components were installed. The whole thing looked wrong. Then I found the paperwork hidden under the workbench, and that's when I realized what my siblings had actually been planning this entire time. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below.